Guys, before we start this, I'm pretty pissed. And you wanna know why I'm pretty pissed? Take a look at this shit. I recorded it for my school. And looky, the audio is non-existy. Apparently, I had my mic muted the whole time. I could have checked. But no, I didn't. So I have to read my script over again. And hopefully I'll be able to hear myself. Ugh. So, that's what's going on today. I'm gonna read about South Korea. Well, probably best if the last one isn't gonna make it. I have my reasons, and I'm not gonna explain them to you, so blah blah blah. Welcome to South Korea, scripted by me. Okay, reading this shit again. History. Pre-Republic and division early 1900s to 1955. 1910. Japan formally annexes Korea, stripping it of sovereignty. I actually don't care how to pronounce the words anymore. I'm too pissed. If you know how to read it to yourself. Forcing colonization. 1945. Following World War II. Japan surrenders. The Korean Peninsula is divided into Soviet North and US South occupational zones at the parallel. What about pissing me off again? By the way, I'm gonna be also eating my leftover Thai food. The Korean War, 1950 to 1953. The conflict, North Korea is invaded the South in June 1950, prompting a US-led United Nations intervention. The armistice hostilities ceased in 1953 with a heavily fortified, demilitarized zone, DMZ. But no formal peace treaty was ever signed, leaving the two nations technically at war. Will my water bottle shut up? And I fell. Okay, I'll have to admit, this Thai food I ordered, I forgot what it's called, is, calming me down. Korean War, 1950 to 1953. The conflict. North Korea invaded the South in June 1950, prompting a US-led United Nations intervention. The armistice. Wait, I already read this part. The Miracle on the Han River, 1960 to 1980s. Economic transformation emerging from the war as a struggling agrarian economy. South Korea under a massive, rapid industrialization. Corporate giants. The government backed family-run conglomerates. Symbols like like Samsung and Hyundai, transferring the nation into a global tech and manufacturing powerhouse. Mm. You know what? This actually tastes better cold. It's always a thing with temperatures changing the taste of food and of fillings. Democratic transition, late 1980s to present. Political shifts, early decades featured authoritarian leaders and strict military dictatorships, punctuated by public protests. Democracy. Widespread protests in 1987 forced the government to hold direct elections, successfully establishing a modern democratic republic. Today, South Korea is a prominent cultural and economic leader, known globally for its pop culture phenomenon and Hallyu, Korean wave. I got some rice to this. I also got white rice, so this is gonna be a mukbang while reading the history of his hair. History of South Korea and the modern stuff and all that fancies. Oh yeah, get it. Oh shit, rice everywhere. Okay, here's the rice. Mom's gonna kill me. Alright, let's go to an intermission. Hopefully the curry will make the rice more moist. But population and demographics. Total population approximately 51.6 million. Population is highly dense at around 531 people per kilometer to. No. Urbanization 82.8 of the population lives in urban areas. Median age 46.2 years. Birth and fertility. The total fertility rate TFR has hovered around 0.78 to 0.8, making the lowest in the world and driving an overall population decline. Life expectancy, one of the highest globally, average 83 to 87 years. Did I read this already? No? Okay. Standard of living and economy. GDP per capita, nominal GDP per capita is approximately $36,000. Human development. South Korea consistently ranks among the highest tier countries globally in the UN's Human Development Index, HDI. Employment. The country features a robust employment population ratio, with an employment rate of roughly 2.8%. Cost of living. A family of four typically spends about 2 million to 300,000 KRW per month, around $1,070 USD, including rent, natural resource use, and allocation. I don't care. Energy resources and allocation. Fossil fuels dependency. South Korea lacks domestic fossil fuels and imports over 98% of its requirements, making it one of the largest importers in liquefied natural gas, LNG, and crude oil globally. Energy makes profit to reduce reliance on imports and meet net zero targets, the government's long-term energy plans balance an expansion of, of nuclear power alongside aggressive infrastructure rollouts for offshore wind. Resource security faces global supply chain violences. South Korea has enacted a special act on national resource security, which mandates stockpiling strategy, supply chain diversification, and government intervention to secure critical materials. Water resources and management. Scarcity. South Korea has one of the lowest renewable freshwater resources per capita among OECD countries. Topographical challenges. Water acquisition is challenged because over 70% of the country's annual rainfall is heavily concentrated on the monsoon season, June to September. Policy approaches. Water management has shifted from highly centralized technical projects to adapt ecosystem management designed to mitigate droughts and prevent urban water shortages. Land agriculture, limited arable land, only about 22 of South Korea's total land area is arable. Mountains and hills dominate the landscape. Food dependency. The country allocates its limited agricultural land primarily to high-yield rice production. It must import over 85% of its overall foodstuff and animal feed demands. Urban industrial allocational capital allocation is regulated heavily by green belts established around major metropolitan zones like Seoul to curb check spawn sprawl and protect surrounding ecosystems. Okay, I'm gonna take a typhoid intermission. I can't take this anymore. I've already read this already, but I need an intermission. We are back. Circular economy and mineral resources. Mineral scarcity. Domestic metallic mineral deposits are major through the country holds some of the world's largest reserves of graphite and tungsten. Resource circulation. Because it relies heavily on imports of raw minerals, South Korea has introduced net resource circulation plans. These policies facilitate the reuse of electrical waste in packaging, focuses on reducing terminal waste to preserve critical raw materials. Policies and frameworks. Carbon neutrality domesticates allocation of funds and resources is heavily guided by the Framework Act on Carbon Neutrality and Green Growth, committing the nation to severe greenhouse gas reductions and strict circular economy principles. Industrial complaints. The government will utilize strict pollution enforcement mechanisms alongside a growing green industry. Export fund to relocate all sustainable industries. Contemporary issues. Demographic collapse, lowest fertility rate. South Korea continues to graphic with the lowest total fertility rate in the world. The government has spent over $270 billion on pro-nationalist policies like baby bonuses. These have largely been effective due to the staggering costs of raising child income a child and competing for top-tier university spots. Aging population. Rapid social aging is shrinking the workforce and closing thousands of schools permanently, which threatens economic growth and the sustainability of the national pension system. Political instability. High-profile trials. The political landscape is consumed by widespread investigations and trials, including multiple special counsel investigations into current figures, corruption allegations, and changes against former President Yoon Suk Yeol. I don't care how I pronounce. Such as insurrection and abuse of power. Jerusalem procedural backlash. The public distrust in the post-historical republic and legislative battles regarding the separation of investigative and indictment powers remain primarily points of political concentration. Corporal turmoil and labor rights. Tech sector clashes worked at water bottle. Where was I? Oh yes. Workers at major corporations like Samsung have engaged in protests and strikes over demands for higher bonuses and better compensation and amid an ongoing AI boom. Corporate accountability. Public boycotts and executive turnover, such as the recent firing of the Starbucks Korea CEO over a controversial promotional campaign, highlight the heavy security placed on massive conglomerates. I don't know. Social issues and gender inequality. The glass ceiling. The Economist Glass Ceiling Index consistently names South Korea as the worst place to be working. Women along OECD countries among us, women continue to face a massive wage gap and hold very few board seats nationwide. Human rights, systemic issues regarding migrant worker abuse and a lack of comprehensive anti-discrimination laws protecting LGBTQ+ individuals remain unsolved. The end. Okay, hopefully I can hear myself when I look back on this recording. This was not fun. Not fun at all. Bye, you guys. Hopefully I don't have to do this shit again. Ugh.